So hi everyone, I hope you're doing really well. Welcome to this episode where we're going to answer the question, how do you find your private investors? And you notice in the question it's about networking groups, but I actually fairly opposed to networking groups, and I'll cover that in a bit. How do you find your private investors? Now, the very first step, actually before you even get to the conversation with other potential parties, is have a very good business plan. It's the key, the backbone of your business, it's the backbone of your conversations, and you need a very clear plan on how much money you're going to require and what you're looking to do with it. Because when you meet someone, a potential private investor, it's most likely at some point they're going to ask you about your plans, how much you need, how long for, what happens when contingencies. And if you've already gone through that process of thinking those questions through, it gives you a tremendous amount of confidence for those conversations. And you might have noticed, if you saw the video where I sat down with that potential private investor, at some point in that meeting, you notice I reached down to my left and pulled out our blue folder, and in that contains our business plan amongst other things. Having a clear business plan is the basis for a good conversation, which is the basis for ultimately borrowing money off someone. So with that understood, remember the key process on working with a private investor is know you, like you, trust you, buy. Know you, like you, trust you, buy. And here's the inkling why a networking group may not be the best place to go and find potential private investors, because they don't even know you. You're right at the beginning of the know you, like you, trust you, buy process. So I would always encourage people, and this is why I say to our mentees, start with people who already know you, like you, and trust you, or at least know you and like you. And who are they? It's mostly going to be family, then it's going to be friends, then it's going to be work colleagues, or people that you already have an affinity with, perhaps neighbours, and perhaps members of groups or communities that you're a part of. So for instance, you might be part of a chess club, or a reading club, or a skiing club, or a fishing club, I don't know, various different things out there. You might be members of some sort of community where people actually already know you, like you, and trust you. That's the best starting point. Now, it just might be that someone in there, you really get on well with them, and either don't have any money, so they're not going to do business with you, or they have money, but they've got other plans, and it's just going to be awkward if they start lending you money. It's going to damage the friendship. So you can say to them, look, do you happen to know anyone else who might be looking for a return, a better return on their money? That's one of our stock questions. And then you say to people, look, would you be willing to introduce us? And by the way, it might be helpful for you to know that we do pay for referrals. So you've now got people that you know, like, and trust, who are thinking of you, either consciously or subconsciously, when they talk to other people. And it happens to us. So you're person A and you have a friend, person B, who knows you, likes you, trusts you. You're just not going to do business with each other. However, person B might know person C. At some point in the future, person C might say to person B, what do you do with your money, or how do you invest, or whatever it might be. And suddenly they say, do you know what, if you're looking for someone who's going to get a great return on your money, you need to speak to a friend of ours. His name's Josh. Let me drop you an email or a call, or set up a coffee. I'll introduce you. So you're incentivizing everyone who already knows you, likes you, and trusts you to keep you in mind for people that they're going to meet. And so your net is cast wider. You're leveraging your friendship group. So people who already know you, like you, trust you, and then referrals from those people. The next thing I would say is be a member, if you're interested in getting in property, be a member of a mentorship group. Now, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Of course, I have a membership group. I have mentoring clients, but it doesn't really matter about us, anyone really. Go with someone, and you will most likely find, if you resonate with them, the mentor, other people will join that group who also resonate with that mentor. Is it likely that they're going to resonate with you? There's a degree of trust. You know, we've both got this relationship with our mentor. There might be an opportunity at some point in the future to do business with people in your mentorship group, and that has been true for us. There are a couple of people we've actually done business with, one repeatedly, one has just finished and been paid back, and we don't know what the next steps may or may not be for them. And we've also been on the cusp of doing a deal with someone else in the same group. So there's 3 people that we feel we could do business with, and 2 we have, and 1 we have done repeatedly. The other thing I do is get out and do some speaking events, and I don't just mean formal ones, but I mean get out and speaking events. Go out and talk to people. Anyone who you meet, talk to them and tell them what you do. And a nice way of doing this is say, oh, at some point in the conversation, you say to them, well, what do you do for work? What's your line of work? What's your line of business? And they'll tell you. The natural response to that at some point, the law of reciprocity is, and what do you do? And then there's your opportunity. Obviously, you're not going to jump in and pitch them, but there's the opportunity to talk about what you do. So constantly spread the word. And there are speaking groups, and I've done the Rem Property Network. And although I haven't raised any private finance from that, it was the catalyst for us launching into our mentorship group, because someone came to me at the end and said, look, can you mentor me? I'd love to do what you've done. So go out and talk to people. And here's the reason why I don't do networking like PPN or PIN. Nothing against them, nothing against the organisation, nothing against the organisers. But I used to go regularly, pay 20 quid every month. And I remember sitting there thinking, looking around, the last one I went to, thinking, they're all pretty much young people, the sort of same age as me, with either none or next no experience in property. There was one exception. Had one guy come up to me and said, look, I'd love you to sort a deal for me. But again, I never borrowed a penny from him, although that was he did pledge they'd be willing, not pledge, he said they'd be willing to work with us on financial terms, and that was the eye-opener for me. But I never have actually ever done business. I remember sitting there thinking, I've come here for like 6 months religiously, and I've just been pitched to, and I've paid for the privilege. Now, that might not be your experience, so I'm not knocking it, but that is the reason why we don't encourage those sort of property networking events. I don't really think it's genuinely your best interest to raise private finance. Quick recap then, just to round us off. Have a very clear plan of what you do with someone else's money. Have it written down. Speak to people who already know you, like you, trust you. Most likely family, friends, colleagues. If they can't do business with you, ask them to bear you in mind when they have conversations with other people. Explain to them that you do pay for referrals, so you're incentivizing them, and then go and tell everyone what you do. So there are our tips. If you've got anything else, anything different, anything you agree with, then feel free to please share those. I'd love to know what you think about this. What's the best way you've found to raise private finance? Please let us know. Who did you start with? How much have you raised? All that. Love to get some feedback. If you found this helpful, then please, before you leave, just give us a like. And if you haven't yet joined the channel, then please subscribe. Follow us on our property investing journey and try and gain as much information to help you on yours too. So hit subscribe, hit the bell notification icon. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting us. We look forward to seeing you in the next one.